Recording in progress.
Yeah, it's your boy KC2 Real, man. I'm back here with another one, another Talking Stock Tuesdays, man. Um, I'm sorry that this is coming up late. I know I say that every week, but it's a lot trying to get these videos out. But y'all gotta bear with me, man. I know sometimes I'll be taking a week off, I'll be late. I know I wasn't here last week because the holiday and everything was going on. It was a lot going on. I was doing traveling and stuff. But I'm back here again for y'all, man. We about to cover everything that we missed and some, man. So today is gonna be an action-packed episode. So I hope when you leave here today, you get everything you missed from last week and some more, right? So we are here, but I just ask y'all please be patient with me because I'm doing school, I'm working a full-time job, I'm doing these things. I got kids, so it's like I gotta maneuver around things. But anyways, so what are we gonna do for today? What's on the agenda? We're gonna give you a market snapshot, of course. We're gonna tell you what's going on in the market, the latest news. We're gonna give you some scalp picks. Lately, I've been doing options, so I've been scalping option premiums. That is what I've personally been doing lately. So I'm gonna give you some of those. Um, I think I have plenty of episodes on investment opportunities and long-term buying and things of that nature, companies you should hold for the long term and things of that nature. So if you are interested in those watch lists and things of that nature, you can either join the stock club on the Discord, or you can hit me up directly, or you can go back to some of the old videos because most of them haven't changed. Obviously because they were long-term picks, so they're going to be there for the long term, so they're still in play. Anyways, so how I would execute the near term forecast, which means what's going to happen and what I predict is going to happen in the market near term, and what is the game plan. So as you all know, disclaimer: please always do your own research. Please, please, please. And if you're going to make an investment decision off anything you hear off the show, please, please, please consult your own financial professional before making any decision based off what you hear on the show. Um, do your own research. That's the name of the game, baby. And also collaborate, man. Coming to joining into the stock club. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Bring people in, man. This is a community. I started this stock club for people. Um, I started with the Discord first for people just to build a community. I was learning. I wanted to learn with like-minded people, so I started a community where I can learn. I'm giving what I know, they're giving me what they know. We collaborate, we meet up, we trade together, we do things, and I've learned a lot from the people I've met. They've learned a lot from me, so it goes both ways, and I just love being in that environment. So that's what inspired me to start the show. That's what inspired me to do a lot of things. So community is very important, man. Join the Discord, join that community. All right, let's get into it. Okay. So first things first, what is the market snapshot? What's really going on? Futures, we watch futures a lot because that kind of tells you the sentiment of the actual market when it opens. The Dow futures are flat, the S&P and the Nasdaq. Now, this is yesterday, Tuesday, July 8th. So, Nasdaq futures were slightly red. Volatility brewing ahead of this tariff deadline. We're going to talk about that. Commodities, oil, dollar, and copper and gold are climbing amidst the tariff tensions. So, what is the macro context? 14 countries are to face U.S. import tariffs between 25 and 70%, started on August 1st. So they say that the market jitter is moderate. Commodities are rallying. Copper jumped 12%. Gold is up 26.6% year to date. As risk hedge flows spike, which means people are just scared of what's going to happen with the tariffs, like always. And things like commodities are safe haven. So when people get scared of the value of the dollar or bonds, they jump out of bonds and stuff and get gold, buy gold, silver. Don't forget that silver also reached an all-time new high not that long ago, like a couple weeks ago that we talked about. So all these commodities are really going up. They're doing well. I hold gold personally, so uh, I like gold. That's my thing. Anyway, so tariffs, volatility chances, scalp setups, commodity strength hints at emerging materials run. Okay, so let's get into this news. So as you can see in the picture, Trump drops another tariff bomb. So just when things were starting to level out, of course he had to shake it up again, right? That's the president we dealing with, right? So US tariff expansion. So now 14 new countries will be facing these new tariffs that will range between 25 and 70% depending on the country. Now I've heard that um the key targets are Japan, South Korea, and the European Union. I mean the EU, which is Europe. And we're talking about they're he's talking about doing a special tariff on copper. So that will have copper price spike. He's proposing a 50% tax on imported copper. And he's also on oil. So he's putting oil into that play. So oil prices eased as market digests tariff and supply news. Trump has been going after these countries that he doesn't like. In my personal opinion, I think he's going after countries that aren't willing to bend the knee to America. He's going after all the BRICS countries, South Africa, all those BRICS countries. He's on them bad. I would assume that they're going to be receiving the higher portion of that 25 through 70%. Um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess this is just the new norm now. Um, I'm not really sure exactly what tariff in these countries exactly is going to affect, but we will see though. We will find out and we will see. And I will do more research. Next week I'll have more research about what's exactly gonna be the effect from all of these different countries. I don't have a list of what we rely on from these countries and what these countries rely on us for. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see if any retaliatory tariffs happen. So we'll keep that monitored. And I will let you know. So don't forget also about that last slide, the taco trade. So you have to remember that we talked about a couple weeks ago that a lot of Wall Street guys have current coined this term called the taco trade when it comes to Trump, which means Trump always chickens out. So he always says he's going to do these tariff things, and then he ends up rolling them back after things get serious. So we'll see if that happens this time. We don't know, but that's just something to keep in mind. I'm sure that a lot of people on Wall Street are keeping that same sentiment with these new tariffs. Okay, so one most important thing that's happened while I was gone is that the big beautiful bill passed, right? So let's do a deep dive into what this means for us, right? So the big beautiful bill is what Trump coined this bill, this massive tax bill that he designed with Congress, I mean with his team and sent to Congress and it got passed. So what is actually in this bill and what does it mean for us as investors, but also as citizens, right? Specifically, low income citizens, right? So tax cuts for all, extends Trump era tax individual tax rates permanently, boosts child's tax credit plus $200, and adds 1K Trump accounts for newborns. Seniors get up to $6,000 deduction, so 88% pay no income tax on Social Security. So, hero or time for workers, federal no tax overtime and tips, plus 10,000 new car interest deduction meant to boost working class wallets. Not bad. Now, I'm assuming that these are some of the provisions that a lot of the senators said they had to make before they would pass it. Because there was senators that even are Republican that were saying we need to massively rewrite this bill before we even consider voting for it. And the bill definitely came down split. JD Vance was also the 51st yay for the bill. So they had 50 nays, 50 yays, and JD Vance made the final decision with 51. So that's how it passed. So it was very, 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 very split down the middle. Okay, so just to let you know. But anyway, so the flip side of all that stuff that I just said, which that doesn't sound too bad, right? All those things sound pretty good. Child tax credit is up $200. He's giving newborns $1,000. Trump accounts, which is crazy to me. But I mean, it's like I ain't gonna say. I mean, I guess you can have your name on it. It's like it's just funny that he called it Trump accounts, right? So seniors deduction, that's good. All those things pretty good. No tax on overtime and tips, pretty good. Now we don't know exactly what stipulations you have to be to meet these requirements to be able to qualify for these things, but that's another in theory, those sound like good things, right, for the people. Now, on the flip side, what do we have to do to be able to cover these costs? And what Trump is trying to do, right? So how are we going to be able to cover giving $1,000 Trump accounts to newborns, right? So the way that they're going to cover it is where I find my issue with the bill. They're going to do a lot of safety net cuts, right? Massive ones. I mean, $1 trillion cuts. Medicaid will be slashed by $1 trillion. Also, they will update the work requirements that you need to be able to get Medicaid. And they said up to 11.8 million people could lose their coverage. So that's 11.8 million people that might lose their Medicaid. Now, keep in mind, I have Medicaid, so I pray that I don't lose mine. Um, Health insurance is expensive, man. I mean, seriously, like Medicaid is a good thing. You know, I don't, like I said before, I don't know exactly what the requirements are to be eligible to keep your Medicaid. I will definitely be looking into that for myself and to date y'all. I'll keep y'all updated with all this news coming soon. This is not the last time you hear me talking about this bill because it's a lot to unpack. The massive bill, that's why it's called the big beautiful bill because it's a big bill. So we're gonna break it all down. Um, SNAP will be which is food stamps will be chopped by $186 billion. So and I also heard that they also changed the requirements for SNAP too to be able to get SNAP. I think you have to be like working a certain many hours a week, 80 hours, something, something like that. Um, yeah, so student loan overhaul kicks out save slash IDR plans, caps graduation debt, and wage garnishments back. Not cute for broke college grads, right? So that's not good for college graduates. He's bringing back wage garnishments. So basically, he's saying, yeah, if you don't pay your student loans on time, we're gonna start garnishing your wages, which is crazy to me. I mean, it is what it is, but you know how expensive. Instead of actually fixing the problem of rising school prices, you just basically blame the people and say, oh well, if you can't pay your shit's getting took, which is crazy, but this is what we're doing. Now, what are we talking about for environmental and energy? EV tax credits expire. So there used to be a special tax incentive to have an electric vehicle. That is gone now, which directly hurts Elon Musk as well. which is probably one of the reasons he's saying he's on the Epstein list, right? Which is also probably one of the reasons he said that the big beautiful bill was a disgusting bill and everybody that's voting yes for it should be ashamed and all that stuff he said on Twitter. Anyway, so energy breaks roll back. So he's moving back away from clean energy. He's going back to fossil fuels and defense companies, which means the climate is obviously going to be horrible again. But of course, older politicians never believed in climate change anyway. They used to laugh about it on TV like we were all crazy. Um, and call Bill Nye Science Guy crazy guy. Shout out to Bill Nye the Science Guy, man. He's been talking about this for a long time and he's been warning everybody. Uh, I don't know if y'all remember, but like a couple years ago, he just came back out of nowhere. He had been, I think, retired for a long time. He wasn't retired, I don't think, but I think he just had stopped like doing like TV stuff. And it's funny because he just popped back up with a new version of the Bill Nye Science Guy show, which I used to watch in school, by the way. So I know he's legit. They used to show us his videos in school. But yeah, he dropped a whole new show just showing how the climate is changing and then disappeared again. So you do with that information what you will. He was actually like yelling at us, like, if you don't do something about this, we're gonna be dead. Like he was like that serious in that show. Like it wasn't a kid show like how it was at first. Like he was like, no. He was still doing his cool experiments, but he was like, yeah, this is serious. And then he just disappears again. Haven't heard from him since. Literally. Old Netflix show. Just disappeared. So you do with that information what you will. But what does that mean for us, right? So I already basically told you. If you got medicated, it's not what that means. But what does it mean for us, right? So a lot of the people I know, I'm in my 20s, so a lot of people I hang around in that are in my stock club or in their 20s, early 30s type thing. So I still consider us low income, or maybe you're in the middle income class or whatever. But for my low income folks to lower middle class income folks, what does this mean? More take home now, especially with tax perks and deductions, but you get a loss of health and student support, higher costs, and less access to care/education. Tight paychecks incoming if you're Medicaid/SNAP dependent or studying with debt. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, and I'm gonna just tell you what I truly think. And I know I get a little conspiracy theorist on y'all, but sometimes we just gotta be honest. And I'm gonna always use my platform to be honest about what I feel and what I think. And to be honest, I think they are using this bill as a way to incentivize people to work again. And you can say, yes, that's a good thing. Yes, that's a bad thing. Um, there's people that are going to be caught in the middle of these things that are not eligible to work. Like we have disabilities, we have people that have been in accidents, we have people that have mental health. We have all these things of where people just can't just go to work and receive these tax perks and deductions that they're trying to push on us and say, oh well, you get extra child tax credit. Everything in this bill seems strategic to me. And what I mean by that is we have to keep in mind that we are in an era where after post COVID, a lot of people chose to go to entrepreneurship. They chose to get money in other types of ways, investments. We see an uptick in young investors. We see a uptick in young people doing real estate. We see an uptick in people in healthcare. We see an uptick. People figured out what their passion was because they couldn't work. They were at home. We couldn't. If you didn't have an essential job, you were most likely laid off or close to it. So and you're stretched thin financially. So people are trying to figure out what can I do before the stimulus checks hit, a lot of people were struggling and they were trying to figure out, well, if I can't work, how am I supposed to pay my bills? And you know, things of that nature. So people were finding their passions, they were finding other ways to make money, they were getting a side hustle on, and that culture stuck with the new generation. Like our generation, Gen Z and younger, we took on that role wholeheartedly. And some older people did, some millennials and things of that nature did too. But we took on that role of, okay, now I'm making money doing this. I don't really need to go back to that job I hated anyway. When now I found my passion, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing this and that. And a lot of people, like you talk to a lot of young people, they don't really want to work jobs. They want to do, they have dreams that they're trying to chase. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're gonna find your average person that says, okay, I don't mind working a job. I like my job, I love my job, whatever. But majority of people, they're only working their job to get by. Like they have passions and things that they're pursuing on the side that they really enjoy doing. And I think a lot of money is getting tossed around under the table. I think with crypto going on, with people investing in stocks, with people learning tax, with people learning how to use them taxes, just like how the rich people use them. Um, Education is getting better, financial education is getting better, so people are smarter with their money. They're not getting duped by these companies and by these corporations that's just trying to grab you by the pockets. People are starting to wake up and do better with their money. And I think the government realizes that we're not going to be able to sustain this debt if people aren't paying these taxes to us. So they're trying to incentivize people to say, you know, yeah, you could go out there and try to be an entrepreneur, but that's hard. We're gonna give you a good tax break where you can work this job. It doesn't pay that much, but hey, you get some extra tax benefits now. You know what I mean? Instead of raising the wages, they're like, oh well, we'll give you some tax breaks. And they think that's gonna make us be like, you know what? This will be more steady. This is better for us. We can work this job and I'll have steady support and steady income and I get these new tax breaks. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I think that's the goal, if I'm being totally honest with y'all. And there's nothing really, really wrong with that, but it's just like, bro, really? But anyways, retail investor POV, right? So what does that mean for us as retail investors? Commodities and fuels is going to be up. Energy plus mining is probably going to have bullish momentum. Consumer staples hold steady despite cuts. EV and clean sectors dip. Potential bargain entry. Healthcare disruption. Volatility in insurers and hospitals. Healthcare is the one that I'm most worried about out of all of this from this bill. If they cut a lot of millions of people's Medicaid, healthcare is going to take a dive. A lot of these little small healthcare clinics are going to feel it first. The big corporation hospitals are going to be fine, but though they might downsize, but they'll be okay. Those small little family mom and pop clinics, though, out of there. Anyways, all right, let's get to it. So, Elon versus Trump. Of course, they beefing again. I guess, well, I can't really say again because I guess they never stop, but okay, so now the latest of this beef, right? I feel like we watching two rappers beef, but it is what it is, right? This is what our president spends his time doing, right? While the country's falling apart. Um, Elon is talking about launching his own political party called the America Party. And he went on X and started throwing shade at Trump's tax and deficit policies, of course. Trump clapped back and said, Elon is off the rails, turned into a straight political soap opera, right? So Wall Street isn't feeling it, right? So right after this happened, Tesla dropped 6.8% in one day, losing $68 billion in market cap. That's his biggest red candle since June. So y'all already know how I feel about Tesla and Elon. I don't invest in Tesla because I don't trust Elon. Period. Point blank. I think he's a brilliant guy, but I think a lot of times when you're a genius, you're weird, bro. I'm sorry to say it. You're just a weird guy. Um, investors, press, analysts, told the Tesla board to chill Elon out and stop mixing business with his presidential dreams. Right. So we're at a point where people are actually calling for Tesla's board to say either you get this under control with Elon or y'all find a new CEO. That's what's happening. So Tesla's biggest investors and his board are seriously looking into saying, look, if you can't calm down and chill out and stop causing your company to tank, we're gonna find a new CEO. So we'll see how that plays out, but man, that would be crazy. If Tesla ends up being owned by somebody else, and it's gonna be somebody Elon hates too. I guarantee you it. Because that's how rich billionaires play, bro. It's gonna be somebody that hates Elon and Elon hates them, and he's gonna wanna it's like a superhero movie, bro, when two villains hate each other and they be competing again who gonna be the one to get to go against the hero. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Anyways, so what is the real risk? The EV tax credits may get murky if regulators view Tesla as too politically hot. Um, volatility equals money. If Elon tweets again, Tesla might print quick scalps. Just don't get caught slipping, right? So that's where your option scalps. Tesla actually did take a small rebound yesterday. So, Tesla's one of the ones, it's like Bitcoin, goes up and down, right? All right. So let's get into this quick. What are our top picks for these scalps, right? So we're watching Tesla, of course, because like we said, volatility is beautiful for scalps, right? So um it did have a 1.3% bounce on pre-market yesterday. So we're looking for calls around 305, 310. Now it might be past that now because I'm dropping this video late, but you know what I'm saying. Disney, I love Disney. I'm not ever going away from it. People keep calling me crazy about Disney, saying, "Oh, it's never gonna go up as high as you're saying." Da, da, da. Bro, if Netflix can hit $1,000 plus, Disney can get to at least 500. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not hearing that. Who else is the biggest competitor of Netflix? There is no other. Who else has the worldwide range reach of Netflix? Only Disney, bro. You can go to any culture in the world, they've seen a Disney movie. Disney has covered every culture in the world. They had Mulan for the Asian culture. They had Princess and the Frog for the Black New Orleans, the Creole culture. They've had every type of movie, bro. Every single one. Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. You know what I'm saying? Like Moana, Lilo and Stitch. Like, bro, they've had every ethnicity, bro. They're the only other streaming service or media conglomerate that has the infrastructure and the worldwide reach as Netflix. Only one. So people keep saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Disney not gonna go no farther. It's already overinflated." Yeah, okay, we'll see. Disney is one good piece of news away from taking off, bro. I'm telling you. Okay, but anyways, AMD. We've been riding AMD like crazy. I'm not gonna lie, polls. But yeah, we've been going crazy with AMD for sure. Um, FCX. This is one that we're newly watching. We're watching it close, which is copper tariffs, which is copper is a copper stock. So with these copper tariffs going off, we're watching that really closely, and we're watching RKT, which is Rocket Labs, I believe. Is it Rocket Labs? Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure. Let me make sure because I get confused with tickers sometimes. I should have just wrote the actual name though. 'Cause- 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 'cause Rocket Companies. Okay, I said Rocket Lab. I knew it was Rocket something. But anyways, Rocket Companies, which is a small cap. We watching that for bounces and fades based on tech sentiment, little $15 calls and things of that nature, right? Okay. So what is the execution plan? This is just for my people that's been kind of I've been getting a lot of questions about options lately. I've been getting a lot of inquiries because obviously I've been posting about it more. I've been posting my wins and things of that nature. So a lot of people have been hitting me up. Oh, KC, I'm trying to get into options. I need to learn what you learned. So this isn't gonna really like help you that much if you haven't really done options before, but I'm gonna just go through this just to kind of show you what I'm doing personally, right? So what I do usually pre-market, I watch around like you said 6 to 9, but I usually don't start looking at the market until like 8:30 because that's when stuff really is moving and you know exactly what is gonna be moving when the market opens, right? Because pre-market moves, I usually watch that to see what is actually like moving in the market, right? So I check my SPY and some people check futures. I don't really check futures because I'm not very good at futures yet, to be totally honest. I'm kind of learning it, but I'm not good enough to speak on it yet. So I do check the indexes though. I check S&P 500, I check the Nasdaq, I check the Dow. So I check all of those just to make sure if it's either green or it's red because that kind of gives me a idea of what's going on in the market. Like, is majority of the stocks red or majority of them green, whatever, right? So when I watch, all right. So before I get to this, when it talks about at open, right? So what I use most of the time, and I'm gonna give y'all this free sauce if you not, because I know some of y'all not in the Discord. This is really sauce that I only give to Discord, but I'm gonna give it to y'all this one time. But join the Discord because you're getting free sauce. You could have been had this sauce if you would have been in the Discord. All right, anyway, so what I learned, I took a course. I'm gonna be totally transparent with y'all. I took a course, a stock trading course, from New York Institute of Finance, certificate course where the class was being taught by none other than Wall Street's finest, Peter Tuchman and David Green, right? So I followed this model that they put out called the trend trade, right? So this is what I personally use a lot of the times that I trade. There's other trades that I have that I'm not going to tell y'all unless you're in the Discord, but yeah, I do have other trades, but the main one I use is a trend trade, right? So we're on a 5 minute time frame. Let me set the scenario up for you how your chart is supposed to be set. I know it's not on here, but let me just go through it. We're on a 5 minute time frame. Our RSI is up. Our moving averages are the six. I mean, no, not this. No, the 9, the 15, the 65, and the 120 and the 200. Those are your moving averages. So all of them are going to be up at the same time. So we're on a 5 minute chart. We have our RSI up. We have the moving averages 9, 15, 65, 120, 200. Then we also you can also add your MACD in there if you want to. I like to use it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Oh, it's not necessary all the time. So that's my setup, right? So what you're looking for every moving average to be in order. So you want it to be literally set up how you got it set up. So you want the 9 to be on top, going all the way down to the 200. Everything is perfect under each other, right? The 9 and the 15 are going to be close, and there's probably going to be a little bit of space between the 65, 120, and 200, right? So when you're looking at your chart, that's how it should look. So if you are above every single one of those moving averages and you have bullish momentum and your RSI is cool, which means it's probably around like 50, 40, 30, maybe even. Depends on how bad of a retracement just happened right before. Um, yeah, most likely it's gonna ride. You know what I'm saying? Like if you catch it under that 9 and 15 and you just coast it all the way up. And I have plenty of examples of what that looks like, right? Um, yeah, so that's all I'm gonna give y'all for now. But I just want to set that up because I know it's like, yeah, you're telling us what to do when the market opens and what to look for, but you're not telling us how to set the chart up. But anyway, so when you watching that, oh, also another important point. The trend is never established until 9:45. So when you're doing that trend trade I just told you with the setup that I just told you, we do not put in an actual trade until 9:45. So I know it says we watching for breakouts and all that at 9:30, but we won't actually put a position in until the clock hits at least 9:40, right? Because sometimes the run happens a little bit before 9:45, but it will at least be that first 10 minutes at least. Let it just sit and see what it does. Watch for the dips, the highs, the lows, the liquidity pulls, the fair value gaps. Chart all that, and then set your position, set your entry up from that around 9:40 through 9:45, right? And sometimes you do it later, but it, you can't do it before though, because I've been in trades where I put it in at 9:30 and went up, and then it shot right back down by 9:45, right? So don't do that. Do not do that. Don't chase the pre-market hype because sometimes stocks will jump as soon as the market opens. I guarantee you that stock is 80% to come back down to where the level it started at. So just be patient. All right. So it depends on what day. I know it says 0 to 1 day calls. It just depends. Um, because if you're doing it on Monday, you might catch a 4 day expiration date, a 4 day contract or whatever. But it depends on what day you're trading. So if you're trading on a Friday, of course it's gonna be a 0 day. If you're trading on a Monday, you might catch a 3, 4 day expiration. So it just depends. I like to usually put my trades in during the top of the week, so I got a little bit of time just in case some go wrong, because not every trade is gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you talking to, I don't care if he's the best trader in the world. No trader is 100% accurate. But anyways, so all you really got to do is you want to target about 20 to 30% profit for trades. Um, I like to use 50% stop loss. Um, Now, the only reason I use 50% is because when you're doing options, it's very volatile. So it's easy to hit 20% quick. Like you can drop 20% in a matter of minutes and you'll be like, damn, I just took a crazy L. But then the stock will rebound all the way back to your target, right? So sometimes you have to be a little bit riskier. I'm a little bit riskier though. I'm not advising y'all to do that. I know a lot of traders will tell you you should have a bigger profit target than your risk. Um, just from what I've personally seen. Well, no, I can't say that because actually my target do be a lot of times bigger than my risk, but I'm gonna go with 50% risk. So if I'm going 50% risk, I might be trying to make 75% on the profit side, right? And this is over like a course of a couple days. All right. So to finish it off, what is our near term forecast? So what are we thinking about near term? So we have bullish bias anchored by corporate capex and semi AI tailwinds. Commodities, we already talked about that. We got volatility due to the tariffs, and we got earnings. So stay ready to shift and stay ready to focus. Action plan is focus on Tesla, Disney, AMD, FCX, and Rocket. Um, we talked about the trading plan about the 0 day, 1 day, 2, 3 day, 4 day option contracts with the profit target, stop loss in there. Um, be on the charts. It says 6 a.m., but like I said, I usually check them at least around by 8. And hit that Discord, man. Most importantly. So that way we can build this community, man. We can help each other get to this munyon, like always. And just like that, folks, that is all I have for today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like always, I promise y'all I'm gonna try to stop missing episodes. I know. I'm trying to be consistent for y'all. I'm gonna do better. I promise. But for right now, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The Discord link will be in the bio, in the description under this video. So join that Discord, man. Come in the hop in the Discord, introduce yourself, say what you want to learn, or if you already a great investor, join in anyway. Teach people, help me. You know what I'm saying? This is how we build community, and you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if some people I don't judge you from wherever level you at. I'm gonna meet you at that level. So if you're a beginner, I'm gonna meet you there. If you expert, we can still have some conversations. We can meet on that ground. You know what I'm saying? So this stock hub is for everybody. These videos are for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is just dialogue. This is community. This is group effort. So yeah, let's get to it, man. And let's do the thing.